Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Seek Purpose, Live Dreams. I'm Shaniqua Cousins, your host. Thank you so much for joining me today and having this opportunity to do what I love to do, and that's dialogue with other women on my favorite topic, seeking purpose and living dreams. I am so excited to introduce you to my next guest. She is a radio personality and television personality. She is the one and only Miss Denise Hill. So let's talk about being a mom.
Okay.
You're raising your teenage daughter.
Yes.
I'm raising an 11-year-old going into that teenage year, going into those preteen years, and it's fun. It's challenging at times. I'm saying that for TV. I'll tell you a little something after.
Yes. Okay.
But but so let's talk about that. Let's talk about being moms. My
daughter is a beautiful 16-year-old who hasn't really given me much trouble throughout the years, which is phenomenal. She's she's been raised in this entertainment industry.
Okay.
She as a mom, if you have your goals, you just kind of have to do what it takes to achieve them. And so, on a radio station floor, I'm pushing her bassinet while I'm on the microphone.
Yeah.
Just be quiet just for this break.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Go on the microphone and you do your thing. She slept on radio station floors. I've incorporated her into my shows. She's,
perfect.
Met celebrities and shook their hands. And so, we talk about train up a child, and a lot of people focus on the biblical component of that. Mm-hmm. Train up a child in the way that, religious way that you should know. Teach them how to behave in church, or teach them how to read their Bible. And that's great, but you have to train up all components of a child.
Yeah, I
my daughter knows how to market. She knows how to look you in the eye and shake your hand.
Yeah.
She knows how to address you. She knows how to write a professional letter, write a resume. She understands how to network. All the things that are required. She's fussing now because she's like, how come they don't teach us in high school how to handle money?
Oh.
Little things like that now. So I have to step up and I got to train up my child. And how do you balance a checkbook, even though they don't have checkbooks anymore? How do you teach in this millennial generation about when they're in a technology age and they don't have to learn the same? So that's the re-education of the mom, so that I can educate my child and train her up. And so it's a challenge because, she's a teenager. So now she's got her own thoughts and it's tough to influence. And she wants to be an actress. Actually, she is an actress. She's done some things in New York, and she's got some performances going on around here. So she's in the life.
Oh, wow. As a mom, it's tough. My daughter, she is, I knew early on, I would be training her in the way that she shall go.
Yes.
She's very much outspoken, just who she is. She knows who she is. So for me, it's about just really guiding her.
Yeah.
She's very clear. She wants to go into the industry as well, and has a very clear vision of what she will do in the industry. Yeah. So I understand that part. I just think it's phenomenal. Yeah. I think it's phenomenal that you said it, that it can look glamorous, you know what I mean? And it can look fun on the outside, but you're a mom at the end of the day. You're a mom, and being a mom, I'm sure, comes first. It's first for me. It's first priority. But you do what you have to do.
You absolutely do.
Me and a couple of my friends, that's like our saying. It's like, you know what, we just do what we have to do to make things happen.
Because a lot of women use it as an excuse.
No.
Well, I'm a mom, so I can't, or I need to go get this job, or I have to go do this. And they deviate so far from why they were created and their, God-ordained purpose, the reason why they're here, and the things that they're supposed to accomplish. And the problem is when we don't accomplish those things that we were kind of created to do, there's a whole line of people behind us that were dependent, not even just looking, but they were dependent on us achieving what we were supposed to do to unlock their purpose. And you see what I'm saying? And so if she's supposed to be a Oscar-winning actress, well, there's somebody who's supposed to be a personal assistant who has a nurturing spirit. There's somebody who's supposed to be, her bodyguard who has a protecting spirit. There's somebody, and if she never walks in that purpose, then all of those people. You see what I'm saying?
I get it.
We're so connected and we don't realize it. So moms, it's important not just for us as women to make sure we're walking in our purpose, but especially if we have young daughters, they're watching us.
Absolutely.
They're watching us so close, and they remember mom fought through. Mom didn't give up. Mom shed a tear. Mom prayed, but mom kept going. And they learn to emulate that, and they begin to, of course, eventually get past that on as well. So it's so important as a mom to keep going.
Absolutely.
Keep going.
That's the message. And, you don't see it necessarily as a child, but my mom just passed away about two years ago, almost 3 years ago now. But one thing that I remember is like, and I made it a point not to stay in a place of mourning, if you would, because I think about all the lessons that she taught me, and I think about seeing her just keeping on, you know what I mean? And just like so many lessons that she taught me, just it's like a floodgate of them came to me once she passed away. And so for me, I see it as I don't have the opportunity or the privilege not to do what God has called me to do, because I have a child that's watching me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, by default, I'm throwing her off course.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's important. So I'm also glad you hit on that. That's a lesson that I hope most women would at some point get.
I really hope they do too.
Yeah.
I have a friend, Darius Brooks, who's he actually, the Thompson Community Singers.
Yeah.
Darius Brooks, he's one of the founders and leaders of that. And he was talking to me about his mom as well. And he said, she taught me a lot of things, but she did not teach me how to live without her. And so we've got to train up our kids, our sons, our daughters, our nephews that we take in, nieces that we take in, and we need to go back to taking care of the neighborhood kids.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's not just who you give birth to, but we need to begin to train the next generation in how to survive when we're not here.
I'm with you. That's awesome. Like, think about how many of us are in that position where we're not teaching our kids to live independent of us. You know what I mean? One of the lessons that I learned, and I'll wrap up this particular segment here, but one of the lessons that I learned through my mom's passing was is that teaching my daughter really to know that, well, death is a part of life. That's a part of life. But what I also wanted her to learn is a sense of independence. And shortly after her passing, I put her on a plane by herself.
Wow.
And she went out to New Mexico by herself to a friend of mine that lives in New Mexico. And she was there for a week. This is like, you're talking weeks after my mom passed away, because what I started to recognize, or what I started to see in her, was a sense of fear and clinging and, are you going to be here? Changed the course of our relationship.
Wow.
Just that one visit on that plane. I mean, she had a great experience. Southwest Airline had her on the speaker. She's like doing jokes and things like that. But I'm saying it was such a turning point for me and how I was raising her. Yeah. And it was such a turning point for how she viewed me. And that's something that we talk about. We talk about death in our family.
Just taught me something. You just taught, because I lay down in the fetal position every time I think of my child going off to college. I'm like,
wow, I know.
I'm in the floor.
No, I'm with you. I was like that when she went to kindergarten, but that's a whole nother segment. I couldn't even go to work that day. It was like, because it's like you release them, but we have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We do.
Because there's a call and a purpose on their lives.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And we can guide and lead, but at some point they're going to take that wheel. And like you're saying, I heard a while back that at 16, 17 you become a consultant.
Yeah.
Not really a manager.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to brace myself right now. Like, I'm getting into, at some point I'm going to be that consultant in her life and not a manager. And we talk about money and all of that, even at her age. She's 11. So, but yeah, I just think it's important.
We just got to trust God.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.